Hi everyone, it's that time of the week again. It's little lesson time to help you with your spellings. Now you will have noticed, if you're doing this after I've given you spellings in class, that we are leaving the 8 out of 8 club because we are too good at spelling for that. Spring term we are doing 10 out of 10. I wonder how many people will get that certificate this week. I'm here to help you, so let's see what we can do. So this week we're going to be learning to add the letters E, D. Now, because we've been in year 2 for a little while, I have to make sure that you're not forgetting all the spelling rules that we've practiced together way back in the beginning of year 2. So we're going to have a really quick few seconds, if you've got a pen and paper, or you can just shout it out or use your phone and fingers, to remind ourselves about the letters K-N, knock your knobbly knees, and gnarly gnome, See if we can spell a few of those words that we learnt back in September. Are you ready? So, let's look at this one first. We've got night, N-I-T, night. Which N sound can you remember using? Was it knock your knees, N, or gnarly gnome, N? N-I-T. Shall we see if you got it right? Let's have a look. N-I-T. Well done if you remembered that. The second picture, knee, N-E, N-E. Do you know how to spell that word? Could you write it down? Okay, let's see if you were right. Pause the video if you need more time. N-E. Well done. Now, if you're very clever, you probably guessed that those two both started with knock your knees, N. So these two are going to be gnarly gnome, N, G-N. Shh, don't tell anyone else that though. Okay, sign. How do we spell sign? S-I-N. S-I-N. Think back to September. Can you remember spelling that word? Let's have a look how it should look. S-I-N. Well done. Okay, this last little guy is a very cute gnome. Tell someone at home what this funny line means when Mrs. Gillette is drawing sound buttons. That's it. I heard someone say it was for a split digraph, so that means the E will be at the end. Okay, well, let's listen to the sounds we need to represent. N-O-M, gnome. N-O-M, gnome. Let's have a look what it should have looked like. N-O-M, gnome. Now don't be too worried if you got one or two of those wrong. The idea of this is hopefully you'll be able to think, okay, I didn't really remember that sound. I can go back and watch the other video if I've got time. Or, as the weeks progress and you can remember the words, fantastic. You don't have to do anything with them. You are all becoming super spellers. Mrs. G is just doing my best to help you become the best speller you can be. Okay, right. Moving on to today's lesson. So, we are now going to be learning how to change words, and this week we're going to be adding 2 letters. When we write about something that has already happened, this is called the past tense. Oh dear, Mrs. Gillette has noticed while I'm filming that I didn't proofread my work. Phew! Luckily only me and you saw it, and I know that you know it's good to make mistakes, and Mrs. Gillette needs to learn to read her work back. Everyone makes mistakes. That's what makes us great. Okay, so when we want to write a story or you want to tell me a recount, something you've already done, we call it the past tense. In spelling, we can change verbs into the past tense by adding letters at the end. This is called a suffix. Can you remember what a verb is? Shall we sing the song together? A verb is a doing word. Action, 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 verb. Sing it back to me. Awesome. Okay, so all your spellings this week are going to be past tense verbs. Here are some of Mrs. G's golden rules. So for most verbs, most doing words, we add the letters ed at the end to turn it into the past tense like this. So look becomes looked. Walk becomes walked. Ed. There are some exceptions to the rule because this is spelling and it's super hard, okay? For a verb that already has an E at the end, you just put the D, that's an exception. If a verb ends in a Y, we wave goodbye to the Y and we add IED. So carry becomes carried. If a verb has an E sound, cheesy feet, E, the word changes slightly more. So we don't say sleeped, we say slept. But luckily for us, we're going to focus on the simple rule this week and practice adding ED. Phew. Now you might have seen a song that I've put online to help you, and we're going to be learning this song in class. Take your time to learn. If it helps, join in with the silly bits if you want. You know I love it when we're a bit silly. Here is the song that's going to help us remember, hopefully, this week. Past tense verb, you need to add ED. Even if you think you hear id or t, you gotta add ED. You gotta add a D. Never just a D, gotta be ED. You gotta add ED. You gotta add ED. Okay, so it might sound like id or t. You've got to add ED for all these words today, even if you think you hear it. Spelling is super tricky, but we're in it together here too. Okay. Oh, look at the girl. So if we were writing in the past tense, we would say the girl jumped on the trampoline. P D ED. You gotta add ED. Jumped. Pause the video if you need more time. How did you get on? JUMPED. Jumped. Well done. Oh no, the man pulled the donkey. P-U-L-L-D. You gotta add ED. You gotta add ED. Pulled. Pause the video if you need more time. How did you get on? Well done. P-U-L-L-E-D. Awesome job. Oh, the girl shouted. Now, did you hear the id sound? You gotta add ED. Even if you think you hear id or t, you gotta add ED. Shout ed, shout ed, or shout id. You've still got to add ED. The ow sound is pound the ground, ow, O-U, because that's more likely the sound you'll find in the middle of a word. Shout ed, shout id. You gotta add ED. How did you get on? Well done. S-H-O-U-T-E-D. Fantastic. Uh-oh, someone spilled their drink. S-P-I-L-D. Spilled. You gotta add ED. You gotta add ED. How did you get on? S-P-I-L-L. Don't let that fool you this week. E-D. Well done. Oh no, the boy has bumped his head. B-U-M-P-D. E-D. You gotta add ED. Bumped. How did you get on? B-U-M-P-E-D. Marvellous, well done. Oh, the plane has landed. Id. You got to add ED. Even if you think you hear id or t, you got to add ED. Don't let this word trick you, even though it sounds a bit different. Landed. Landed. You got to add ED. How did you get on? Well done. L-A-N-D-E-D. Marvellous. Fantastic. Oh, the lady helped her grandma across the road. Helped. 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 You got to add ED. Pause the video and use those phoning fingers, and I think you'll be able to get this one. How did we get on? H-E-L-P-E-D. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, the children played. Played. Now, words inside of words, if you know how to spell play, and it's play all day, A-Y, when it's at the end of a word, use that word, words inside of words, and then you add ED. P-L-A-D. P-L-A-D. You got to add ED. Did you add ED? Played. P-L-A-Y-E-D. Fantastic. Oh, the boy asked a question. So it's asked. Asked a question. Asked. Asked a question. Mrs. G sounds funny trying to make sure you hear the ED. I don't want you to forget. Okay, how did you get on? A-S-K-E-D. Marvellous. Oh, this is one that's come up a little bit in second chance spelling, isn't it? Because we can hear a T, but you got to add ED, haven't we? So, looked. The boy looked out at the window. Looked. Remember another one of Mrs. G's top tips? The 2 letters in the word look like a pair of eyes as well. Don't let that one trick you. So it's the word look, L-O-O-K, and then you got to add ED. Well done. Okay, right. Remember how important it is, even if you're practicing them. When we go back to writing independently, you need to be able to write it, have a go first, and then before you hand your work in to Mrs. G, you be the teacher, you be the word detective, and see if you can spot if you've made a little bit mistake. I've made a mistake in this video. It's perfectly fine to make a mistake. Let's see if you can find the correct spelling of the words we've just practiced. Jumped. Which one was the right way to spell jumped? We got to add what? Am I giving you too much help? Naughty Mrs. G. Jumped. Think you've got it? J-U-M-P-E-D. Fantastic. Well done. Pulled. Pulled. Which one was the right way to spell pulled? P-U-L-L-D. Think about the letters we are learning to add at the end. Spotted it? Well done. P-U-L-L-E-D. Fantastic. What about shouted? Shouted. You got to add E-D, even if you think you hear id or T. Shouted. There it is. S-H-O-U-T-E-D. Marvellous. Well done. What about spilled? Spilled. Sp-I-L-L-D. Think about what all these words have at the end to help you. Pause that video if you need more time. There you go, you've got it. S-P-I-L-L-E-D. Fantastic. What about landed? I can hear id, but I've got to add ed, even if I think I hear id or t. There's a clue. Landed. Landed. There it is. L-A-N-D-E-D. Marvellous. What about helped? Helped. Got it? H-E-L-P-E-D. Fantastic. What about played? Played. P-L-A-D. Played. That's the one. Well done. P-L-A-Y-E-D. Well done, super spellers. What about asked? Asked. Asked. You got to add E-D. Asked. Well done, super fast. A-S-K-E-D. Marvellous. What about looked? Looked. We have looked at this word a few times, and that's okay in year 2. Is our brain beginning to remember it? Looked. Looked. There's the one. The 2 O's look like eyeballs, don't they? L-O-O-K-E-D. Well done. Okay, thanks for joining me, year 2. Come back as many times as you need to. Okay, you'll be a super speller in no time. Have you checked out the Add an ED Repeat After Me song to help you get even better at this rule? Leave me a like if you're going to give it your best try to get into 10 out of 10 club. Well done. See you next time.